It is impossible to rent an apartment or house in Korea without running into this concept of JeonSe. So you need to know what this is. It's not hard to understand how it works, but what is hard is how such a thing can go on. So I have learned about this and I can explain to you verbatim, but I still don't understand how people can believe in this here. So essentially, what it is that you make a huge deposit and you live for free for the duration of the contract. How huge? Is about say 20% to 100% of the house price. Often it goes beyond 100% of the house price. So right there you understand why it's hard to understand. So I summarized it for your convenience here, things that I have learned. First of all, why is the deposit so large? First of all, the house was bought with somebody's 전세 deposit. So the person who bought the house didn't use all their money or bank's money. A large portion was the 전세 rental that they gave. So they used it to buy the house. But the tenant would leave. So what do? How do you get the money to pay back? You get it from the next tenant. So you got to pray that by the time you are leaving that apartment, someone else would come in, and that the price didn't go down. Because if the 전세 goes down, then the owner would not have enough money coming in to pay you back. Regardless of the amount, if nobody's coming in, then you cannot leave because the owner doesn't have money to pay you. But why would they do that? Well, the thing is, the owner, why would they sit on some not why would they play this Ponzi scheme with somebody's huge amount? That's because the house price has been going up for decades. So if you could play this game and sustain the title of your house under your name after say a few years or after a decade, then price would have gone up substantially and you pocket the difference. So this is the way to buy time while holding on to the apartment's title. But what if the price goes down, as is happening now, or the deposit amount goes down? Then what happens? Then basically it gets ugly. You will be stuck and you may lose the deposit you made. If you enlist a Korean friend's help in looking for an apartment, you may hear something along the line of somebody of your social status should have a 전세 instead of a monthly rental. It may baffle you because 전세 is also a form of rental, but somehow there's a huge difference in Korean psyche, whether you are paying monthly or you paid one lump sum deposit. It's not exactly that you could afford to pay that kind of a large deposit because in many cases it's a borrowed money as well. They get a loan from the bank to make the deposit, and yet they feel proud that they made that large deposit and they're living in the 전세 apartment. So this is something that I still don't understand, but this is what I noticed here. So living on a rental residence is considered shameful. To understand how shameful, consider is a very, very mild form of homelessness. You just got step closer to it. It's not that the Korean people are adverse to paying rent. They do pay rent in business and office, and it's just fine. The objection that you hear about paying rent is that it's a waste of money, the money that could have gone to buying a house. But the thing is, the 전세 deposit they made is often is a bank loan, and they're paying interest on that loan, and that interest is not considered a waste. Somehow, it's the interest they pay on that loan is exactly what an American would feel about paying rent. There's no shame associated with that, or the sense of loss associated with that. But granted, the interest you pay in the loan for the loan is less than the rent you would have paid if you rented the same apartment. That is under the low interest rate. If the interest rate doubles, probably it breaks even or it could be higher. Don't know, but used to be that it was lower. So therefore, the borrowing money was widespread, borrowing money to pay the deposit. And that money you borrowed from the bank to pay large deposit, say 50% of the house price, is under your name. So if the house owner takes the money and run, then you are on the hook to pay for that loan you made. It's under your name. And yet somehow that risk doesn't register. Yes, there is a government insurance to secure that, which is also baffling. This is money lending and borrowing between two private citizens, but somehow government gets involved and guarantees against the fraud. And the true fraudster knows how to circumvent that and take the money, and then you find yourself that you're dealing with a different owner who changed the ownership on the day that you moved in or something like that. Day you signed the contract, a few hours later the owner changed, and there's an elaborate scheme to skin you alive. So be aware. So, and the whole scheme works because the housing price has been going up. Yet, what if it goes down? The whole assumption and the whole scheme falls apart. But yet, that possibilities do not enter the Korean people's mind. Even if you remind them this could happen, they just brush it off. So, these are the psychological barriers that you would run into. In my case, I never overcame. Maybe you can drink the Kool-Aid and become a Korean. Try your luck and see what happens.